What's up, everybody? This is Matt Swagger. This is the premiere episode of the Rogues Gallery Video Podcast.
Yep.
And we got here with me
Captain Quagmire, the one and only. You know what it is, King of Controversy.
Play to 77, the gamer.
and we want to give a shout out to our boy Joe Diablo. He can't be with us because of some personal matters, and he's a very big part of our group, and we just want to show him a little love. Joe, we miss you. Hope you get back soon, and let's get with it. All right, guys. So we're gonna be talking about Huck, Mark Miller's new book, and I think that's an excellent read. And I think we should explore a little bit more about it, about what Mark was talking about, what inspired him to come up with the book, and, just to show our viewers and our listeners a little insight of what we think about it. Play that, when you want to start off for us?
Sure. So I actually read it pretty early on, as soon as it came out, pretty much. I like the whole concept of, making it simple, making it seem like a hero just meant to do good deeds, at least one a day, which is the premise for Huck. As opposed to like all the nitty gritty stuff we're getting now, a lot of darkness, DC, Marvel, they're hitting very different strats from what they were, back in the early golden ages. But Huck is totally different. There wasn't even a villain, in the very first issue. The only wrong there was him just trying to please the whole world. And there was no favor too small, no mountain too high. And I think, it was really good for what it was. And I'm hoping to see much more.
Yeah, definitely. And what's your take, Captain Quagmire?
No, I thought it was an excellent book. Real simple, got to the point. You know what I mean? I thought it was good. Like, it had a good heart to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Play Dead Saying's a little lightheartedness. We have a lot of this dark going on in the continuities on screen. So it's good to see someone actually making a book about someone that just wants to do good deeds and go unnoticed. And that's pretty cool. Saving people, doing one good deed a day. And, everyone should take that into consideration, and probably everyone will have a more fulfilling life. And I think that's probably the message that he's trying to send out there with this, is if everyone just stops and just, take a seat, take a step back, and just look at ourselves from the outside. You think we really should be living the way we are, and maybe we should be following Huck or, someone like him that's doing good things for people that don't want to be known for it, doesn't want to be a hero in the sense of that definition, being out there, a caped crusader, and, just making people's lives better.
It's kind of like Jesus in this sense.
Yeah, I kind of, that actually could fit in.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I wonder if my whole thing, though, is like, I wonder if there's a twist to it. Like, I understand that he's doing this, doing these good deeds, and he's genuinely probably trying, like, just doing them just because who he is, and, the nuns and stuff. But I wonder if, there's something about him, or, there's always
something deeper.
Yeah, something deeper.
Like, cause it's kind of like he was kind of programmed in a way. This is what you have to do. You have to be good, do a good deed every day. Let's see, when now he's being noticed, people are actually out in front of his window when he woke up in the first issue, and they know he exists.
I mean, yeah, we can totally guess that there's definitely going to be some kind of twist, right? I mean, first of all, spoiler, he is slow, according to the people around him.
He's probably just really quiet.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything, slow or special about him. I think, again, being quiet and introverted is not what do you call it? Something wrong with you, in a way. I think it's, sometimes people need just to be to themselves and not have to be a part of everyone's life and conversation. And doesn't matter, that person might be doing things that he don't want you to know, or she don't want you to know, and that's their right. And you should respect that and not just label someone as special or, slow. And I think he's doing his thing, and, now he's going to be exposed to people. Maybe his influences are going to, turn him, and you will see as the character develops. It's going to be pretty interesting.
We're just cynical people, though, overall. Like, someone does something good for no reason.
We want to know. There's got to be a reason behind it.
There's got to be a reason. That's like, that's how I'm going at it. I'm looking at it like, there's no way this dude is just good-hearted. But it'll be interesting.
It looks that way, Another spoiler, bringing candy to save people so they don't tell who he is, or tell the media who saved them. So I don't know if he's had a
Childlike.
exactly. He's very innocent in a way, and I doubt that there's any sinister things behind his motives. But we'll see as the story unfolds with each issue.
Right. And then, then again, maybe they raised him to be a simpleton. Because that's it is. It is a small town.
Making someone ignorant to what goes on the outside doesn't, jade you to the real world. How horrible, unfortunately, the world is horrible. In any way you look at it, you just got to make the best of it, in your own life, and just try to ignore all the negative and all the crap that's really going on. And that's why I'm grateful for these shows, comic books. These are like an escape for me to get out of, listening to the news and the propaganda of what's going on in the world. And, it's a great way to just, relax and just let your imagination go with whatever you're reading. And it's very peaceful.
Like certain heroes that I like, a lot of them probably are. Like I love like Captain America. I kind of like Goody Good Two Shoes. I mean, Batman's my favorite hero. But in a sense of, somebody asked me like, why do you like those type of heroes? And I said, because they could do things I can't. And I'm not talking about like abilities. I'm just saying like your moral compass.
Yeah.
Like someone like Huck, for what he does, or whoever, their moral compass is so high. The average person can't do that. Because being good is so hard.
It is very hard. Who's to say, like, if we had powers, like you're saying, would we use it for good?
No.
I can't say. Maybe. It depends.
I'll be bad.
Would I be trying to get money?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. You go like, who really needs to work when you can fly or, punch people through walls? But, it's an interesting thing to think about. And you're absolutely right. It takes a special kind of person to just help people and not have a reason to do it.
Hence, we call them slow.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, being selfless is not an easy thing.
Definitely not. And more power to the people that do it. For them, they do make the world a better place, and thankful for people like that, people that can't make that decision or selfish that want to use things for their own means. We have a character like this now, maybe it can inspire people, and instead of just a cliche superhero type thing. He's just a regular dude. He takes out garbage for people. He's
mows the lawn.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just a do-gooder. He's basically a big Boy Scout.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. So Huck, he can fly. He appears to be really super strong.
I don't know if he could fly though.
No.
Because in the book he was, and plus he was riding the plane. Yeah. Like they showed the plane, he was under it with the backpack. Oh yeah, so he probably has like high leaping. He can't.
Yeah, so like the Hulk, maybe that he can just jump and then just like fall down. Well, given that, his powers, how strong he is, his leaping ability, and whatever other powers we don't know about. If you guys had Huck's powers, what would you do with them?
I would threaten politicians, like to make them sway to what I thought was, in a sense of like policy-wise.
But do you think you would really need politicians if you had that power? When you want to just take over the whole world?
No, but that's the whole thing, because when that happens, I become more of a... It's like to the world, like if I'm threatening you, behind closed doors, no one knows, because that's what happens anyway.
Yeah. Right
there, you know what I mean? But if I become more of a dictator, it's like the people start going against me, and it gets a little messy.
All right, I can see that, but if you maybe level it in a way that you're helping and you want to make the world better and you're going to be a leader, not just a dictator, do you think that kind of mindset would appeal to the mass population?
No, because everybody has their different views on, what they think is right, and, policy and what works for them. Like I could be helping the innocent, the poor, but what about the rich?
So kind of like a Robin Hood in a sense with superpower.
Yeah, but it's like, it's a very thin line how you do it, because you'll have forces out there who are like, wow, this guy's threatening and they'll put, it's like with anything, they'll dump loads of money to try and take me out, because it's, nobody's on the same, like, your thought process is not the same as everybody else. It's either like you're working for, for the people, or you're working for the man. So that's why it's a real difficult thing. That's why I'll kind of work in the shadows and, let them take the brunt of the hits.
All right, now let's go over to Play Dead and get his take on what he do with Huck's powers.
That's a complicated one, right? Because first of all, like for now, I don't even know the extent of Huck's power.
Exactly.
But
given what his abilities he's shown so far, what do you think you'd be doing?
it's tough, man. Like I was raised to be a good person. You know, put yourself not before but after. You know, and then let's suppose my main focus would be super strength. There really isn't a lot I can do for people around me with super strength. Maybe, I mean, if I get shot.
Yeah, you can. You can rip out the safe from a bank or something.
Yeah, but I don't want to be a criminal. Like that's not what I would do. I would be.
I would say it's a criminal. You just
trying to get paid.
Trying to get paid.
Like there's a lot of underlying issues with having that kind of responsibility, right? Like I can go out there, just put on a mask, but people will follow me. Doesn't matter what I do. I'll be scrutinized. I'll be found eventually. The governments will find you, and it'll be really bad for you. It doesn't matter. Maybe they can't kill you, but they will turn your life inside out.
That's a good point.
Want to weaponize you and
to be honest, if I had power, I would never see somebody get their ass kicked in front of me ever again. Like I wouldn't let that happen unless maybe they deserved it.
Yeah.
Like people can ask me, oh, save his life. Why? I just saw him shoot someone in the face. Why would I save his life? But obviously that's not for me to decide, right? So, again, what would I do with the powers? I just do whatever I could do, but I would still have to live my life as a normal person, right? I can't just go around punching walls, lifting buildings. I can try, right? I can try saving a life. I can try doing a lot of things. I can promise you the world. Doesn't mean I'll be able to do it. And then, but obviously, I would have to live my life according to what I would need as well, right? I still need to hold down a job. I would still need to do things.
I probably, besides using that strength to, get into bodybuilding competitions and, use that to my advantage without using gear, steroids. And probably I would maybe work for the government to try to solve some of the mess in the world right now. Maybe, I don't know. But
Freelance.
yeah, just trying to take care of things like Goku would be doing if he was real. Just take care of stuff.
He's good-hearted.
Yeah, exactly.
But the problem with that is, like, you can have all the government's resources, but you're working under their agenda. Like, would it be your choice? I mean,
I don't
send
know.
you as a black operative and just tell you, all right, you're gonna level this city.
Yeah, that's the
and you're gonna
thing.
get out of there as fast
I
as you
probably
can.
do things on a whim based on how I feel at that moment, and then what are they gonna do to me? I could just take off. But given the mission, whatever it is, if they tell me, I'll try to avoid any civilian casualties as possible.
But when you go
Even with that kind of power, maybe I probably could.
But when you go in there, would you go in as Matt? Because after that, they don't need to get you. They could get your family. Or would you go in there as like, yo, don't ask me questions. Just use me for whatever, like, in a mask or.
Yeah, I'd basically be a soldier, and just their weapon to go and get that job done. Because we need someone like that to take care of what's going on right now. That's how I feel. And if we had someone with that ability, things wouldn't get out of hand. Kind of like if we still had the mafia right now. I don't think we'd have so much problems in the streets. They would take care of a lot of this crap that's going on locally. That's how I feel. And people will disagree with that, but that's my opinion. And everybody's got their own. But, like we're saying, is there really room in the world for any good right now? And, we bring up Mark Miller's, article that he did. Like, superheroes are being criticized. They came out in a time where we needed some uplifting and some positivity because of World War I, World War II, all these wars going on. We needed something to promote patriotism, like Captain America and all these other good-hearted heroes. But now you have this darkness with the superheroes, so we kind of taking it back. Like, does the superheroes have to reflect what's going on in the real world? Because we have all these things, negativity and all this darkness going on right now. Do we really need our heroes to take that step too? How do you feel about that?
There's always people who, inspire to fight fear with more hope. And there's a lot of people who inspire to fight fear with fear, fight fire with fire. So you're always gonna have just mixed emotions, opinions. It's like so many variables. Like what happened to the person. Like if you look at that man, like he's very cynical.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, because of his circumstances.
Yeah, because he's jaded because of what happened throughout his life, and he witnesses it every day with the criminals and how people are just how they can be so, you know, disgusting in a, you know, lack of a better term. And yeah, you're right. He's very cynical, but he means well. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, go against my man. He gets the job done, you know, and I liked his mindset because he'll make that unpopular decision. He'll say what needs to be said, and even though no one's gonna like it, he don't care. He knows it because it's right, and he knows that if anyone's gonna get it done, it's him, because he's got that reality mindset that this is what needs to be done right now, and I'm the only one that's able to do it because I'm not held back by my views of, oh, well, maybe he's a little confused, or, you know, maybe, you know, just something happened to him when he was a kid, and, you know, no, you're doing bad, you gotta be stopped by any means, and, you know.
But that, you see how, like, you know, through experience and through certain circumstance what happened. Now, you look at another hero, like the Punisher, you know, he's out here just putting boxes of bullets into people. You know, but when you look at it, you know, and everybody looks at him like, wow, that's really messed up or whatever. But I mean, he has, you know, his
circumstance.
Yeah, I mean, his family got hit. You know, from some of the origin story, like his family got hit for no reason. Like, you know, I mean, there were some like they were saying like, you know, they were just a casualty, like in the sense of, like kind of like two mobsters do whatever. You know, bad drive-by or something. Or,
yeah, the casualty of a crossfire.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he looks at it like, all right, so they don't have no mercy. Everybody's doing what I'm going to restore order the way I know how to restore order.
Well, I think he's like a take on Batman, just but he don't have any rules.
He doesn't.
You know, he's just going to go and kill people because, you know, they killed his family, and criminals don't deserve another chance, and they just should be dead because jail is only for how long? So they're going to be put back on the streets. His way of, you know, justice is, you know, final, and he's going to eliminate them. And that's the kind of mindset he has. And people are going to, like you said, they're going to beg to differ. They're going to say that's violent. You shouldn't be killing people.
Until something happens to them.
Exactly. And they said, man, I wish Punisher was around. Yeah. You know, you got to put a bullet in that guy's head before you put a bullet in my kid or my husband or wife or whatever.
You know? Especially like senseless acts. Like, you know, something happens, like it's like someone who's very passive is until like one of your loved ones gets it. That's when your whole mentality changes. You're there for blood. But there's there's some people, like the people in the North Carolina shooting, like they forgave that kid who done that just because of that. Yeah.
You know, they did something maybe a lot of us wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, you know, and that's probably helps with the healing, and it probably helps with them showing that, you know what, yeah, you did wrong, and we're going to keep living our life. We forgive you, and that's going to help them get on with their lives. So, you know, more power to them.
And you know what, there's a lot of moments that you're like, you know what, like I'm not better than anybody, but you know what, those people are better than that guy. Like those people show that they might be better than a lot of people are in the world. They were willing to do something nobody else was willing to do.
They made that statement, and I don't
know
if I could
get him killed.
Yeah, I don't know if I could forgive a person that did something like that, you know. And whatever their motivation was for behind it, it's really don't do it. You want to do something, kill yourself then. You know, just go blow your head off. Leave the other people out of it. Because what they do to you. You know, you're not happy with the world, go jump off a bridge. Go hang yourself on a lamppost. I don't care. Just leave people out of it. And read comics. Maybe that will help. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, going back into, you know, Huck and Mark Millar's, you know, his essay pretty much, you know, his idea of making Huck and making, you know, a good deed a day and all that. It's good because that's what it used to be back in the golden ages, right? You know, a couple of Jewish kids made Superman during the times of war and made him happy, and it made him, you know, it made him hopeful and made a lot of people hopeful. And that's what Huck is doing now, because everything else, like, you know, Marvel and DC are not doing any of that. No. They're in fact making it about the story instead of like what they represent. Yeah. You know, Superman just killed someone. Well, That's not what he would have done, back in the golden
That's
age.
what they're doing now in the world, so we're trying to keep it consistent.
Right, and I'm not knocking him for that. Fine. We got to move on with the ages, right?
Yeah.
A lot of millennials, people want to see a lot of change.
Yeah.
No, we're not hippies anymore. We want to see change. That's fine. But if you want to, that is not a feel-good story. At least that's not the Superman I grew up knowing. I mean, yes, he kicked a lot of ass, caused a lot of damage, but somewhere in between, I don't think he willingly just straight up killed another humanoid.
The reason why I appreciate the whole thing with Superman killing Zod is because I think at the end of the day, it's Superman's first battle.
Yeah.
And I think that's what changes someone. You get what I'm trying to say? I think in a sense of, like, Superman, I think it gives a reason why, it brings us to the Superman that we know now, where he's very careful. It's like you ever see some people who's probably done a heinous act, and then they change. They're not into violence anymore because they know their capabilities. So when I look at it, what happened with Superman is I think he needed that. Like, for him to do that with all the destruction, that's when he could actually figure out and say to himself, like, hey, this is why I have to tone down.
That's a pretty valid point. I could see that's kind of like a prequel to why he doesn't want to kill people. It's pretty good.
Because at the end of the day, it's like the reason some people don't kill people is because they know the circumstance. The consequence. Like, if someone like Superman, nothing could be done to him. So for him feeling bad of killing someone, it's really, he doesn't like it. You get what I'm trying to say? Because most people, if they could do something to somebody, like if you have road rage, you're like, I'll kill this. If there were no laws, you'd see how many people would go out their cars and strangle someone and do something bad. But someone like Superman, he doesn't have to worry about that. So it's genuine that he feels distraught. It wasn't like he killed Zod and was like, I'm keeping it moving. He felt distraught. But bro, like, you're like a god. How are you feeling distraught because you took someone out to Earth? That's how you know he's really a good person.
I watched Man of Steel. Like, I thought, had he still been on that self-discovery journey, whatever, I feel like if Zod came along and didn't even, wasn't even looking for him, he might have even gotten involved. Like, he might have even done anything. He might have just, he's like, oh, I'm not stay out of it. Like, I didn't get that sensation out of him until he was directly involved, until Zod was looking directly for him. Otherwise, it would have been just some other guy on Earth with a lot of power, and he's like, all right, I'm not.
But that's someone you could relate to in a sense, because you think about all the pressure in the world. You're different, and you have these people who come down looking or whatever. You're not gonna just jump out like, I don't know the power. I don't know their extensive level of power. I don't even know how much I could do. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3 ships coming in. This ain't just a one-on-one. This is a whole different ball game. I couldn't even handle having powers at school, and so I'm supposed to because I have these abilities, I'm supposed to just go out here and fight these people, and I don't know how the humans are gonna take me. They want to arrest me.
Where's the selflessness, right? I didn't get that feeling that much. Not that much. Not from the movie.
For real? When he saved the kids in the bus?
Well, I mean, that was all circumstantial, right? He was there.
That's selflessness.
No, he was there and he could do it, and he did it.
That's being selfless.
It wasn't like he was running around, all right, I'm gonna
I need to go save these people first, and then I have to go and stop this guy. Nah, he was destroying the whole city, man. He was.
The people in the tanker. If
he was there, right?
He was working on the tanker, wasn't he? At that point.
But some people are like, I'm trying to save myself.
Well, yeah, I guess so, but to an extent.
He knows how capable he is, and he was.
He knew, yeah, exactly. He knew the extent of his powers, even though he's not experienced. But he just was out of control at some points,
But again,
obviously, yeah, because there's no experience. That's what I'm trying. That's how you grow. That's how you grow in life. Like, you do shit, and you're like, all right, I fucked up here. I gotta get better.
That's true. But he could have pulled a Goku, bro, and he could have said, yo, let's go over there to the desert or something.
But again,
I think that's a one-on-one fight.
We can't compare what we have now. The heroes we have now with Huck. We can't. At least back then we could have. Now we can't, right? And that's
we have to see. There's only one issue. There's only one issue of Huck.
That's true, but at least from what Mark Millar said in his essay and what he did in Huck, we can definitely tell that this guy is totally selfless. And I mean, it's definitely upbringing, and we can tell Clark Kent, we all know, had a pretty good upbringing.
Very good upbringing.
Farm, Kansas, the whole nine, right? Smallville. And Huck, well, he was raised by nuns, you know, and he you know, he's getting stuff done every day. Good deed.
But he's not influenced by the evils of the world.
That's because he hasn't been in the world.
Exactly.
Though.
So hopefully
That's
we get to see
thing.
that, you know, come, you know, to pass. But, you know, let's now focus on the current state of comic industry and, you know, what's actually not being done right in the companies right now, as, you know, concerned with the amount of books that are being put out for one character. You know, what do you guys think? You think that the comic industry is moving in the right direction?
Not all of them. It only has very, very specific, you know, stories that are actually doing right. At least let's look at it from DC Comics side. I'm actually buying most of the Batman related stuff, including Robins and Grayson and all that. And I split the batch with a buddy because it's a lot of money a week, right? But I do it just maybe out of a sense of loyalty, out of a sense of just getting the whole story, right? Because it's either that or just scrolling through hours of Wikipedia information.
That's true, and you don't know if it's correct.
And maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm just, you know, hoping that eventually it would all fit together a lot better. But I get to be there, right? I get to see it from the point where it all kind of meshes up together once again. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But
maybe you're just a little bit more nostalgic, you know, like myself. You know, you have a collection, you just want to keep adding to it, and you don't want to, you know, have it incomplete or out of order. You know, that's what I feel like sometimes, even though I'm like, I can't afford it half of the time, you know, things going on. But, you know, I love collecting books. I'm old school. I love to go to my favorite comic book store and go look at the different books, look at the covers. I'm a sucker for variants. That's like my vice. I just love the different covers. Hopefully they're more valuable if they're not, you know, put out as much, you know, kind of like with the opposite they did with Spawn #1, where they printed over 1 million issues and made it so unvaluable, which is heartbreaking. But yeah, you know,
I mean, yeah, no, like I used to collect a lot, you know, before I moved to the States. I used to collect a lot of issues, a lot of hardcovers, a lot of volumes. But now I do everything digitally. I do Comixology, I do Marvel Unlimited, and then obviously buy a lot of stuff. And my collection is probably bigger digitally now than it is in actual physical issues. And so the collection part it's irrelevant now. It's only my own self-pride, because nobody's gonna see that unless I share my account with them.
Exactly.
Right? So it's not even that anymore. It's not even the collection aspect of it. Maybe I do buy like Archie, the new Archie with Mark Waid and Fiona Staples, because that's awesome. But I won't be collecting any Batman anytime soon. Maybe I collect issue #1 of some new series, like Batman Europa. You know, Jim Lee's is drawing that
nice, good
stuff, right? And but that's the exception to the rule, because everything else is just like, I don't know where they're going. I don't know where they're, you know, I don't know anything anymore.
For me, it's all about like story. Like I'll start out with a series. I'll give you 3 to 4 issues. After that, I'm out of there. Like I don't care, you know, loyalty or not, or if they change the creative team and a new creative team is trash, I'm not with it. And at the end of the day, I think that they're gonna do, the comic book industry, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, because it's all about making money. We're talking about art versus business. At this day and age, it's all about business. But the thing we don't realize is we have the power to change that. So they're not gonna change if we're not gonna change. It's bottom line. Like, you know, they come out with these crossover events, and all of a sudden we're buying every single book to link to the crossover event. And
well, like, they're stringing you along.
Yeah,
you know, because they're taking advantage, like you say. And
if it works, why feel? I'm looking at it me as someone who's like a CEO of, you know what I'm saying? You know, like I'm looking at who's voting with their dollars. Like you could come to me and be like, hey, look, this idea, whatever. But I'm like, we have a good thing. We're holding on right now. We have a good thing going. I'm not gonna change, because if I change and people don't react to it, we're not making any money. It's gonna be like, oh, in hindsight, why did we do this? Anything that you do is in hindsight. Like we could change and become really big, and oh man, we made it, we did it. Then I'm a genius. But if I change and do something and we flop, you're an idiot. You should have. You know, how are you gonna change? Why are you gonna do this? It's all about the people. It's all about voting with your dollars, man.
So you think that, you know, comic fans as a whole should maybe, you know, put a strong arm on the industry by not buying books as much?
Yeah, by buying not certain books.
Just
like,
stop at, you know, altogether doing like a strike.
Yeah, like not even. It's just like stop buying. Like if they have an event, or if they have like how many Batman titles or whatever, buy one Batman title, neglect the other one. Then they'll probably X that out. You know, when they have newer characters, buy a whole bunch of that. You know what I'm saying? Like they have this book from DC, the Omega Men. It's a really good book. More people should buy that instead. So now they'll be like, oh snap, okay, these backwater characters that no one really knows, people are investing in it. Let's do it. How do you think Deadpool popped off?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Deadpool was nothing like like these other mainstream characters, but somebody took a chance and they did a good job, and now he's like on the forefront.
Because Deadpool is like the character that you want to relate to, because he just he really doesn't give a shit about anything or anyone, and the dude is pretty much indestructible like Wolverine, so he can have fun with himself. He can, basically blow his head off and he's still alive. A lot of people want someone like that, want to be carefree. Like, he breaks the fourth wall. He's like pretty much the only comic book character that does that. He knows that he's inside a comic, which is...
And he's a risky character. Right?
Yeah, he is, and it worked, and that's why he's popular, because he doesn't give a shit.
And again, now they're whoring him out.
Well,
everything is Deadpool.
That's because of Ryan Reynolds' movie, and that's the nature of the beast. And if people decide to, not buy comics, it's only gonna hurt what we love, too, because we want to see these stories unfold. We want new stories because we want new stories for the TV shows to follow. A thought would be making them more social, like giving the readers more say by having like Twitter votes, or let's say Facebook tallies.
They did that with what's his face with Robin when they had to vote. Like,
that's true. When they killed Jason Todd, when Joker killed them all, they said which character would you want to kill, and they all voted Jason Todd overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
And it was they hated Jason Todd for whatever reason, and then they were pissed when he got put back.
Well, no, I mean, now he's kind of cool.
He's cool, yeah. They redid him, but the same thing, like taking that notion, having the viewers, the readers have more of a say in where they want to see the story go, or they don't want to see the story continue at all. We'll give the people that invest in the venture, your business, an opportunity to say, this is where we stand, this is how we feel, we want to see more of this, we want to see less of that, we don't want to see any of it at all anymore. And I think that would be, a pretty good idea.
Another problem that I see a lot, at least, is, let's say the main Batman issue, the main story is going one way, right? And it involves all the characters, like all the Batman family and whatnot. Now, it's changed a lot, because now you get like different stories. Like, now Grayson has his own thing. And if you want to see more of him, you have to either go to Grayson or you have to do Batman and Robin Eternal. Like, those are your only choices. And it sucks, right? Because you either buy both or buy either or.
Yeah.
Maybe they both suck.
Yeah.
But same thing also as well. We Are Robin.
Ugh.
I don't even know what that is. I mean, the characters could be a little more engaging. Yeah, the characters could be a little more engaging, and they're interesting, and they're not the usual, Tim or Grayson or Damien or Jay. No. It's like the regular kids that are, doing what they can with what they have, and that's kind of cool, right? But obviously, we are Robin, son of Batman, Batman and Robin Eternal, so on. There's too much to leverage.
How do you feel about like buying comic books comparing to like online, like Comixology?
After I moved from Puerto Rico, I wasn't gonna bring my entire collection. I mean, that's crazy. That's just pounds and pounds of books. I went digitally, man. It didn't bother me as much.
I really do want to go digital, but I don't feel like I own the book.
Well, you can actually download some of the books now and keep them. You download them to your whatever, your computer, and you can actually have them.
It's nothing like the feeling of going to a bookstore or a comic book store, purchasing that book, and taking it home with you in that bag, and then opening that bag and taking it out and admiring the cover.
Just the smell itself.
I get that, but I guess we kind of face two distinct imperatives, right? The first one being, at some point you're gonna run out of space, and nobody's gonna take that stuff. Because I remember I found like 3 full crates of comic books in the trash. Like 3 full crates of comic books in the trash, and I got them, like recent ones, at the time. And then the second imperative is, when you're buying digitally, now they keep changing like how much you get, right? Like, so let's say you're saying, oh man, I don't want to pay $2.99 for something that's digital as opposed to something I have in my hand. But digitally, like all the work that goes into that, just like the guided view, the ability to download them and keep them, the simplicity of having them with you anywhere you go, like that is the digital age. And I'm assuming at some point, if I decide to sell my account, maybe I'll be able to for a lot of money.
Sell your comic?
Yeah. If I say like, all right, I'm not gonna buy any more comic books.
People do that?
Dude, you can sell a World of Warcraft account. I'm pretty sure you can sell a comic books account. Yeah, for thousands.
It makes me like
I
back
see
on
a
World
lot.
of Warcraft and start mining for some gold.
but that's my point, right? Like, so now with the future, always on the rise, digital doesn't sound so bad. I mean, I love like feeling at the texture, but then obviously you don't want to touch them too much. You can't handle them too much. They're gonna.
I was thinking about just buying number ones or by variants.
And again,
like
that's my vice, and I feel that they're more valuable. Not many people are going to willing to spend the $20 to $30 per variant, and it's got to be like the cover's got to be really sick for me to spend like more than $10 on it. But I'm not opposed to digital. It's very convenient, and the guided view is excellent. I read Huck on that, and the guided view is just perfect. It takes you frame by frame. It just guides you where you gotta go. You don't get distracted, and I'm for it. And even in a hybrid, like Play Dead saying, get that feel of the book still, but the convenience to take my books with me and I have to, pay someone.
The
to
space thing
ship
is
it
a
to me,
big situation.
Yeah, and you know what's cool too? When Jessica Jones came out, they had a whole sale selling each issue like 99 cents.
On them
all.
To introduce you to who Jessica is, because many people don't know who she is, and it's a shame, but I hope everyone's enjoying the show. We're in the midst of watching it. Just a little shout out for that. It's excellent so far.
Excellent, man.
But but essentially, I'm glad that Comixology came around, and I was there when it first started, and it wasn't the best thing in the world, but it worked, and it was good then, and it's awesome now, and I vouch for it every time.
Now, artists get to submit their books to them directly, so if they can't get published, they can at least get digitally published. And
but like to like crisscross again, obviously for the Batman stuff, I don't even care anymore about buying issue number 1. Like that's not what tickles my fancy right now. I would just buy like Archie number 1, like the lesser stuff, right? That the cooler stuff, the variant stuff, because that's just like run of the mill stuff. Like, God, I mean, I give it to my grandkids. So what? They're like, oh, Batman, whatever. But then the stuff that when they get older, they realize, wow, this is like Archie number 1 and its variants. Like, wow, this is actually worth something. Because then they might go to their friends and like, oh yeah, my grandpa gave me Batman Eternal number 1 too. Like, oh, well, what about Archie? What? No.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe we should tell the audience maybe you should always just buy the number 1s hard,
Well, I mean, we can't say that, right? Because then our stuff wouldn't be worth anything.
You don't want like they did with Spawn. You don't want them to publish over 1 million, first prints, because it's worth nothing. It's worth the price that you bought it for, and hopefully you didn't pay more than whatever it was at that time back in 1990 something. And I'm happy I got actually a variant of Death of Wolverine. I actually got it through GameStop, the Power Rewards. I don't know how. I think it's 1 of 8,000, so that's pretty rare. So hopefully it's gonna be worth something for me in the future. So that was a great thing to get. I didn't pay a dime.
Yeah.
So things like that, and just to finish up on the state of the industry. Any final thoughts, Captain Quagmire? What's your opinion?
People just vote with your dollars, man. That's it. Once you do that, trust me, they'll listen. You hurt you could hurt anybody when you hurt their pockets. That's all. That's it. You know what I mean?
I guess my opinion would be, I actually asked this out on Reddit. I put a post out saying like, what is the underlying issue for people as a whole, and I got some responses back. One of them was trust. The other one was empathy. The other one was, well, people don't read carefully enough. That one's probably pretty important, right? You should probably read before you do anything. For anything. But in this case, concerning comic books, you should definitely, go to your local comic book shop. That works on 2 levels, right? You go there, you see a bunch of stuff, you might buy something, you help the comic book shop, and then you get educated before you buy it. Well, you can do it in Comixology, right? But you only get 3 pages to read to kind of leverage it.
But it's not like you treat Barnes & Noble like a library. You do that to your comic book store. They're not going to yell at you for being in there and browsing. They're going to hopefully welcome you in there because, you're going to be a patron. Hopefully you're going to contribute to their sales for the day and hopefully for the weeks to come. So, some experience that I had in the past, they're welcoming, and those are the places that I'll keep going to, especially when they remember your name and they give you that personal touch. Other places, they don't even acknowledge you when you walk in the door. You're not going to see me again.
Oh, hell no.
So, let that be a lesson to those places, those shops. Greet your customers. Get to know them on a personal level because they're gonna value that and they're gonna come shop with you more often.
Yeah, and the staff are very savvy. So, if you're looking at something specific from a particular writer or artist, they'll help you out and be like, oh, we just got this book. Take a look.
When I go to my shop, they say, hey, Matt, what's going on? We got some variants if you want to take a look. So that makes me happy because they know my name, they know what I'm looking for, and they actually hold stuff for me to actually see.
Yeah.
And if you have a pull list, they already bag your stuff for you, ready to go, nice, and they're like, you got your comics all ready for you.
What shop is it? Shout it out.
Mine is Best Comics International in New Hyde Park, Long Island. It's awesome. Zach is one of the nicest guys there, and Tommy, the owner, he's a real cool guy. I know we're trying to get over there to do a segment about the best comic book shops.
Yeah.
Hopefully that we still be able to do that, but focusing on one thing at a time for now. But overall, I think costs need to be cut in some things for the industries. Not put out so many books maybe. Make the demand go up for certain books, and you're going to see the sales numbers go up because you're putting out quality work. You're not overstressing your writers and your artists, and they're going to put out better work, overall. Hopefully get better paychecks as well. All right, and, that's pretty much it. For this first episode, I thank everybody for, listening, watching with us. Again, another shout out to Joe Diablo. Hopefully you come back soon, boy. Yeah, we miss you, and we're holding it down here for you. And again, this is Matt Swagger,
Captain Quagmire,
Play Dead 77.
and you heard in the story here first. Thanks, everybody.